Okay. So I'm using the old project where we have all seen all the concept. So when I explain pipe, okay, so what we have seen when we have explained the pipe, what we have seen,
How to format the data in the HTML.
right? The default pipe
Yes.
we have seen. Like what are the
Yes.
pipes we have lowercase, uppercase, JSON, right? At that time I said like some things I will explain in some time, right? What was
Yeah,
those?
custom pipe. Custom pipe, you said like you'll
Custom
explain
pipe
later.
and async pipe. Okay. So
Okay.
whenever we talk about pipe, custom pipe and the async pipe, these are the only two topic they will ask you. Okay. And most probably async pipe. That is the hard to understand. Fine. Now, mm, 4200, no, 4208. Okay. Now we had this gate API component. Where is that? Or even post record also. Any API component we need where we have made the API call. Okay. Now see in this component in get user we were doing the API call, right? We have written this API call function into service and we were calling it. Now this is one way to do it. But if you see this user data list, okay, this user data list, we are not using it anywhere. See, we created the variable and then we assign the value. That's it. Then apart from that, we are just using this variable in our HTML. But in my .ts, I'm not using it. Correct? So instead of what we did over here, we are subscribing over here, right? So instead of subscribing, now the problem with this subscribe now, right? In that evening, we had that ng lifecycle event advanced class, right? Interview preparation I have explained. If we do like this, we have to unsubscribe also. Just like when we subscribe, we have to unsubscribe also. Okay. So for unsubscribe, what do? We have to create a subscription array. Everyone has gone through that recording, or shall I explain quickly? Unsubscribe thing.
So please explain quickly.
Yeah.
Did not got it.
So we have to create a subscription array. Data type will be subscription. Okay. We have created a subscription array. Whatever the subscribe, wherever you do the subscribe, all that subscribe you need to push whenever you write this kind of code. Now it will create an object of subscription. So this is your subscription. So this subscription you need to push to this array. Okay. So either you can store this into a local variable like this. Okay. Now you have a local variable where you are storing the subscription. If you check the data type, see what's the data type? Subscription, because we are subscribing over here. Okay. Now this get user you can push to your subscription list dot push, and this you will push it over here. And in ng on init, ng on destroy means whenever your component is getting destroyed, you need to unsubscribe whatever the API call you are doing or any subscription you are doing. You need to unsubscribe that. Okay. So for that, implements on destroy. Fine. Now once we implement that, we need to implement our ng on destroy function also. It's not suggesting. Okay, sorry, inside I'm the function on destroy. Okay. Now here we have to use the for each loop on that subscription array. Okay. And here you are going to push all the subscription you are doing to go. So here in the in this for loop instance, what you will get? Single subscribe dot unsubscribe you need to do. This is what we do normally. If you are doing unsubscribe, so you push that subscription object into your subscription array, and in once your component is getting destroyed, you unsubscribe everything. Okay. Either you create a variable, local variable over here and push everything, store everything what we do for subscribe over here, or see here also we are doing API call. or here directly this dot subscription list dot push. This is also you can do. Either you create a new variable, store into it, and or directly you push it. Okay. So now
So what
when
does this subscription and unsubscribe
see
does
a
to
simple
this
thing,
data?
consider like whenever you use the Netflix or Prime NG, if you are using it from India, in India, if you use the phone pay, in phone pay you set the auto pay from your phone pay every month, that deduction will happen,
Yes.
correct? So if you don't stop it, if you even if you uninstall the your mobile app, still your payment will deduct every month.
Yes.
Same thing like that, consider this. Okay, when you are writing this
So,
subscribe code, this code is already there, it is continuously checking. If get all user, this function emits the data, it is continuously executing this. So there is a memory leak happening. Once the component destroy, there is no need to listen to this subscription, na? Understood?
Okay.
sir,
So
can you
you are
come
getting
again?
you are so you are deleting, I mean removing the
Kind of. Yeah.
constant of where or a variable which we
No,
are
no, no,
using
no,
to
not
store the
constant.
data.
No, no, no. Forget about this. See, here I have created a constant and then pushed that constant over here. Here I have directly pushed this code, right?
Right.
See, subscription. Whenever you are subscribing from any function, a object get created, subscription object. So that we need to clear. It's like clearing the memory of the variable.
So, sir, you're saying if we subscribe, because for every API we'll subscribe, right,
Hmm.
to that response.
We
Since we are
need to
subscribing,
push it to
it
the
will.
subscription array. It will create an object. Okay, and that will be constantly checking if this function, whenever this function emit, again it will execute. Doesn't matter if our component is active or not. If you don't unsubscribe,
Okay.
it is constantly
Okay.
looking that.
I mean,
Hmm,
does like get user will have data even if we unsubscribe from it?
no, forget about this. See, here I have created this get user. Okay, here I didn't
Right.
created it directly. That subscription object, subscription code, I have pushed it into it.
Okay.
See the see the data type. What the data type we have? Subscription. Understood? See, hold this code. Wherever you are subscribing, it will create a subscription. Take an example
Okay.
of any OTT platform. When you purchase a package, you have got a subscription. Understood?
Okay.
Just like that.
Sir, have you defined any data on the top? Can you move like a subscription
Yes,
array or something
this
like
array we
that?
have
Okay.
created now. So in this we are
Okay.
pushing it.
Pushing it. Okay.
Now the data type is subscription. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So, defining the array type is necessary. Most of time I did not define also. Like then also it is working. Like
Most of the time,
we did not define the type of array. Like the
no,
subscription
we
is the
have to
array
provide
type.
now. See, in this variable, what type of data you are going to store? Subscription array. So you have to provide a subscription.
Yeah, but most of time like in my project like I did not keep the
Any you might be using it.
not any like exclamatory sign we can use and we can
No, but
keep like
that is not the right way now. You have to provide a proper data type. What
yeah,
type
yeah.
of data you are going to store? So that data type you need to provide over here. Is it a string array? Is it a number array? Right?
We
Or
can
is it
also
a
provide any,
subscription
sir.
array? Yeah, we can. But see,
Okay.
if you provide any over here, see, now nothing it is suggesting. Is it suggesting anything?
No, it's
Because
not.
any, how it will know that subscription is there and unsubscribe we have to know. But once you provide the proper data type, it will know what type of data we have, right?
Yes, sir.
Now see, understood? Like this.
Yes, sir. Got it.
Clear? So for
Yes.
now, don't go into deep. Whenever you do the API call into your component, you have to create a subscription array and you need to push whatever subscription you are doing. Either it is get API, post API, save API, everything you need to push. And ng on destroy, you need to unsubscribe from it. This is what we do. Okay. Now, so as I said, be on mute. Echo is coming. Vikrant, Gopi. Okay. So this is what you need to do. If you are subscribing, you need to unsubscribe it. But this is unnecessary code we are writing. Yeah, it's okay. In case of save, update, delete, you have to do it. There is no alternate to do that. But in Gate API, instead of subscribing into the .ts and storing into variable, you can directly subscribe into the HTML also. Instead of doing subscribing the response and storing into a variable and then using that variable into HTML, instead of doing that, you can directly subscribe into HTML also. How? So that we are going to see by using async pipe. So first I have to create a observable type of data, observable type of variable. Okay. So that we will see user list dollar. Whenever you create an observable type of variable, na, you have to provide dollar at the end. This is what we follow. Not a mandatory, but a good programming practice. Okay.
So what is observable means?
Yeah. So uh, we have not seen promise also, right? Did you attended that promise session in JavaScript interview?
Oh no, sir, I didn't.
Async. See how JavaScript and TypeScript execute is like asynchronous code. It won't wait for one line to complete, right?
Yes.
One by one line, it will execute. But if we have to write async code, asynchronous code, in JavaScript we used to use promise, and in Angular we use RxJS library to do that. So observable is part of that to write asynchronous programming. Okay, to store async data we use observable. Okay, again we
So
will.
async data
Hmm.
means it will not execute line by line.
Yes, it will wait for particular time, whatever the condition we have written. After that, it will execute after some particular time. This is nothing but asynchronous. See the return type of this. What is the return type?
Observable.
So here, what we are doing, API call we are making. API call will take some time, na, to execute,
Yes, yeah.
right? See, yesterday,
Yes,
who
it will
was
take.
that? Raju made a mistake. See his code. See what he has written. He have written the API call like that. And this if condition we should put it inside subscribe, but he have written the outside. So when this
Okay.
subscribe block will execute, when
Only
this
we get a response from the backend, right?
once, yeah, so it might take some time. So
Yes.
we have to execute particular number of line once we got the API response. So that is async code, right?
Okay, so we have to wait for some time
Right,
before we execute the other lines of code.
right.
Okay.
That is asynchronous code. Okay.
Okay, sir. Yeah, got
Similar
it.
to
Thank you.
that, see, this function was returning observable data because your HTTP gate will return observable. Okay. Now, so here in this, we are creating an observable. What type of data we are going to store? So currently we have not created class or interface. So let's sorry, observable. What type of data? Any array is equal to, we are creating an observable, just like a normal variable, right? Just like we are creating a variable, but what type of data I'm going to store? Observable. Okay. Now we have to initialize it also. New observable like this. Okay. This is how you have created an observable. Now, in ng on it, what I will do, I need to assign a value to this observable. So user list is equal to this dot. What is that service name? Why why we have given bank service? Okay, get all user. That's it. Why it is giving error? So see, what's this error? Read this and try to explain me. We are getting error.
This bank service dot getting
Observable
user
object is
See,
not assignable.
is
what's the
returning object.
yeah, right? What's the data type of user list? Array of any. Okay. And if you check the return type of this function, we didn't specify anything. So by default, it is object. Understood? Now, if I say here also colon observable of any array, and same thing will go over here also. Now you won't get the error. Now this function return type And the variable return type is similar. See, observable
Yes,
of any.
but yeah, but that method will return like object, right? From
No.
API.
Okay, yeah. We are returning object. Good point. Now, instead of using this, let's use another service. Otherwise, I have to explain another topic again, map also. Let's use this API. This API is directly returning the array. Okay. Let's not use this for now. Get JSON users. Return this dot HTTP dot get. Okay. When we see the RxJS now properly there, I will explain, because before returning back, we need to use the pipe operator and we will return just the array from our object. Okay. So just for now, I'm using this API. This API is going to return directly array. Okay. So now this function, I'm passing it over here. Again, we need to provide the return type also, just like over here. Okay. Now this also has the observable of any of array, and this also is returning observable any of array. So both the data types are same. It's like if you create a variable with string, you cannot store a value of integer, right? Same like that. This function is returning observable any of array, so we can store it into something where it has the same data type. Okay. Now here I'm not subscribing, right? I'm not subscribing over here. So now we can use the async pipe. To use the async pipe, we have to import it also. Async pipe. Okay. Because all components are standalone. So whatever you are going to use, you need to import it. That's the thumb rule now from 17 plus. Whatever you are going to use, you need to import it. Either it is router link, router outlet, ngif, ngfor, even pipe also. Everything. Okay. Now, let's use this only. Now here, I can use this variable directly over here. Okay. But it will throw the error. So we have to add a async pipe over here like this. Okay. What data we get? Name, username, and email I am showing. So what we are doing over here, previously what we used to do, we used to subscribe into the .ts. We used to create a variable, and whatever the data we used to get, that we used to store over here. But instead of that, I have created an observable type of data. And I'm not subscribing now in my component. This will actually subscribe into the HTML directly. And when your component get destroyed, this will unsubscribe also. So now you don't need to do this kind of thing where you will push subscription, again you will clear it. Directly in the HTML you are subscribing. See.
So async pipe will internally subscribe and
Right,
unsubscribe to
right.
it, you mean?
You don't have to manually do it. That part async pipe will take care. Understood?
Is this a part of the new version of
No, no,
Angular
no. From
or it?
Angular 2 it is like that only. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Where we are getting error? Oh. See now. Now here we have just written like this. Okay. And this we are directly using over here. So from here it will trigger the API call and it will subscribe. See, we have two API call, one for JSON user and one for our another API. This is normal subscribe we are doing, but this we are triggering from the HTML only. See, we got the data.
So we can do it in any way. Is it mandate to do in one or the other way? Like
Means
we can subscribe and we can also do it, right? We need to use the async pipe
no,
and do
but
it, or otherwise we can subscribe.
if you are subscribing, then this you need to
We have
do.
to unsubscribe. Okay.
Okay. Again,
Okay, sir.
see this variable you are not using it anywhere in the .ts. This variable you are using it in the HTML only. So why to create one more variable also, na? Unnecessary.
Okay.
You are making your component. You are
Heavy.
increasing the memory of your component. by creating this variable. If this variable you are not using it in any function again, why to create a variable also now? With this
Okay, sir.
major thing you are achieving, like you don't have to worry about that subscribe and unsubscribe, and you are removing the need of one more variable also. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Uh, Coming to this user list, from
Hmm.
where we are getting this user list? Okay.
See, we have created an observable, and in this observable, we are assigning just the function. Okay. Once it, let me,
Okay.
again, if you explain properly, show table. Okay. Boolean value I'm doing. By default, I'm making it false. Okay. And this variable, I'm using it on the table. Just wanted to show when this will execute actually. Okay. Let's create a button. Show table. Now on click of it, we will trigger the value of this variable to true. Okay. Here only I'm doing it. See, by default, we have created a variable which is false. So by default, table won't load. Okay. Currently, just see. अरे यार, let me remove this. Just observe current behavior. On the page load, two API calls are there. The JSON plus user also and the normal API also. Okay. Now I'm hiding this table on the page load. Let's reload. See, only one API call is there. This table API call is not triggered yet. Why? Because this HTML code is not loaded yet, na? So this async won't happen. Once this HTML code load, then your API call will trigger. See, now we got the API call. Now understood?
Yeah.
So from triggering API call to everything,
Okay,
it will happen like this. Now consider you have a big API, big form. Okay. And there are so many things. Let's say you have a state and the city drop down. And city drop down, you are making it async. Unless you change the state, there won't be API call. Or let's say this form is there. Let's say you have a state API call over here. If this form is hidden by default, once you open, then only your API call will trigger. Correct? Normally, if you don't have that, like if you don't use the async pipe, what you will do on the page load, you will make the API call for state drop down, right? But let's say page loaded, you made the API call also in ng on in it, but user didn't open that form. So that's unnecessary API call you are making. Getting this? Are you able to imagine the scenario? Let's go over here. Oh, we removed all the buttons. You're getting the scenario, what I'm telling? Let's say you have a form. Okay, by default, this form is hidden. Here we have a button on click of add. This is getting vision. And here we have a state drop down. State data is coming from the API. Okay. If you don't use the async pipe, what you will do on ng on init, once the page load, you will call API call data and you will store it into a variable, right?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
But let's say user didn't click on add and he didn't open the form, but that still that user state data will be there. API call you have made, right?
Yes, it will. Yeah.
But if you are using a CPI, when the UI gets loaded, then only your API call will trigger. That's the best way.
Yes, sir.
Whenever data is needed,
Yes.
there only it will trigger the API call. Okay. So this is what async pipe. Clear everyone?
Like
Hmm.
all headache made by the async pack only. Like we did not need to care. Like it will do by itself. Like subscription and subscription and everything.
Yeah. So that you don't have to do. Subscribe also you don't have to worry, and unsubscribe also you don't have to worry with the
Yeah.
async pipe. That it will do.
Yeah.
Okay. So in pipe is the easiest topic, but async pipe is the tricky one. Okay. Remember this example, whenever you do the API call, you don't subscribe. You just create an observable and assign your API call function to it. You don't subscribe. Subscription will happen in the HTML. Wherever you need to use that array, you will add a pipe over there. Clear?
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyone?
Yes, sir.
Doubt? Fine. Now, custom pipe. I'm closing this project. Let's open. What was that project? Our employee onboarding. No? So if you remember yesterday, we created constant file. What was the use of constant file?
Uh,
We can create
We can
a
achieve the
variable
reusability.
and
Hmm.
we can use that variable anywhere in our component.
We did not need
Not variable,
to,
right?
like reusability we can use like
Reusability. Let's say
Reuse it.
in your
Yes.
project, whatever the data is there that you are going to need, either it's a string value or something, you are going to use it in multiple components. So instead of writing it again and again, we put it into constant and use it from over there. Okay, constant. Whatever you understand by the word constant, same it is behaving over here. Okay. Now, first I will explain.
one thing
Yeah.
in constant, can you go to constant once?
Hmm.
You have just given like export constant equals to and in
Object.
flower brace, yeah, object.
Hmm.
Okay, so it's an object, that's
Yeah,
it,
object
right?
only. Key value pair data.
Okay,
Because we access
okay,
by using the key.
okay.
Okay. So here we didn't make the API call. Arey yaar. Let's use the old project. Two pipes I will explain. First will be very basic, then a advanced one. Okay. Let's use the old project first. Okay. So in pipe, we have some default pipe which are already provided by Angular. What are those? What are the default pipes we have till now?
currency
Uppercase,
pipe, date
lowercase,
pipe, lowercase,
date.
uppercase,
Right?
JSON,
Lowercase, uppercase, async, JSON,
Contains
date.
date,
What are the
date,
mostly
currency,
used pipe? Which is the pipe which we use
date,
mostly? Only
date,
date.
typing.
Okay.
date.
Not async, not JSON. Mostly use date pipe only. Okay. Now, mm, this function we will do.
Sir, update 5.
Hmm?
Update 5.
Which update pipe? We don't
And
have update pipe.
what is the mostly uses in pipe?
Date. Date pipe we use it mostly.
Data format.
To format the date. Let's check one API where we have some unnecessary data. Mm, Not this one. Hmm. Okay, let's check this get all product API. Everywhere we have the data. I need a API where somewhere some data is not coming empty, it is there or something like that. Let's check another get all customer. You're also empty. Car rental, get customer. Arey yaar, everywhere data is there. Hmm, Get all employee. I need a API where some data is coming, some data is not coming. Like that, I need it. Get all college. Okay, let it be. Let's create an array. Let's not waste time. So we will use this component, pipe component. Now in pipe component, let's create an array. Assume this array you are going to get from the API, but I don't have API where we are getting some undefined null or empty data. Okay. So let's say user list array I'm creating. Let's say you name then city, Pune, state, empty, mobile, undefined. See, when you create an object or a variable, how many different value it can have? Or either a variable, either object, how many different value a particular key or a particular variable can have? Got my question?
Only
If you
one key
create a
value, right?
variable,
For one key, one value.
Tuple.
hmm, either a
One
proper,
key, one value.
no, forget about
empty, null,
either a variable or a key. How value you can have? How many type of value you can have? Either a proper value, either
Data
it is
types.
string, number, date, or boolean,
String,
whatever,
number. Yes.
or it can
Yeah.
be empty, it
Null,
can be
empty.
Null.
undefined, or it can be null also. Okay, DOB,
Yes.
date of birth, I'm keeping it null. This is all you can have. Anything else is there? No, right? At least a value
not
or
a
value
number,
can be empty. Okay, NaN
any
is also there, right? Good point. Let's say roll number. But NaN we don't store it as a value. Yeah, we can store, but normally we don't do that. NaN we get when we parse int or something operation we do, and if it's not a number, right? But still, we can store it. Okay. So see now. But let's remove this. We don't get this scenario. Okay. Keeping city empty for the Rahul and state Maharashtra. Mobile I'm passing. Okay. And here date I'm passing. Okay. See the data, what do we have? Consider like this data you are going to get from the API, but currently we don't API where we have some empty or something data like that. Okay. Now we have username, city, state, mobile, and the DOB. Let's try to show this data into our HTML also. Normal our table, T head. I'm skipping T head directly. I'm using the T body. Okay. TR. Now I have to iterate this at the rate for loop on user list. I will iterate. And this TR will go inside over here. TD. Here I will showcase item dot uname. Let's copy city, state, mobile, and DOB. Okay. See now, if I go to pipe, table class we didn't add it. Class table. Okay. See the data. Now, does this look good? Let's add the T head also, otherwise you won't be able to understand. And what are the last one? Okay.
Mobile,
Something is
mobile and
missing, no? Mobile.
mobile.
Okay. Is this looking good? Consider you are working on a project and you have to show the user list or customer data. And might be possible now when you work on any API, some fields are mandatory, some are optional. So user might provide a value also or user might not also. Right? So is this looking
Right.
good?
Yes.
What's the problem over here?
Fields are empty.
Right?
Some
So
fields
instead
are
of
empty.
empty, what we
Yes.
can do? Instead of empty, what we should do?
Like null check
No data for
default
thing which we have.
parameter.
We
Then
can
put
show
some
something
Just a hyphen. To just
hyphen
put a hyphen.
or
Yeah.
NA not available. Something
right,
we can do,
right.
Yes,
right?
yes.
So for handling this is also formatting, na? This come under
Yes, sir.
formatting.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. So for this we can create our custom pipe. Okay. It's very easy one. Everyone should understand it. Okay. Component. I'm creating a pipe folder over here. What will be the command to create a pipe?
ng
Generate
pipe name.
pipe. Name I am giving is NA. Okay. Not available. Okay. This is your pipe. Pipe is again just a class. See, it's a class. But above the pipe, what is this?
Pipe
Decorator.
Decorator. Okay.
Decorator.
What
decorator.
is the decorator type? What type of decorator it is?
This is
Pipe
object.
type. Like,
What type of
it's a
decorator it is?
class.
Class decorator. Above the class, we are adding it over here. Na? So this is your class decorator. Okay.
Okay.
Fine. Yeah. It's a pipe. But where you are added this decorator? Above the class. Na? So it's a class decorator. Again, like method, property, injectable, those are decorators we have. We will see that one by one. So this is your decorator. So this is normal class, which is implementing pipe transform function. See, what did implement? Try pipe transform. So we got a transform method. Transform method will have two parameter, value and the argument. Remember date pipe? When we use the date pipe, how it was? Date. And then we used to
Value
provide the parameter,
pattern.
right?
Yeah.
So if you have a pipe like this is your value and this is your parameter. Correct? So something like that. In date pipe also, we will have something like this. Value what by beside whatever the property you add, this will go over here as a value. And whatever the parameter you pass, this will go over here. Clear? Now, that same pipe we are creating of our own. Okay. And this is, what is this? What is this?
Rest parameter.
Rest parameter. Okay.
Argument.
Multiple parameter we can pass. Rest operator. We don't
Yeah,
need that.
concat.
We just need a single parameter. What it will be? Default str colon string. Okay. Now, so we have to create a pipe which will check if the data is there properly. We will show the data. Otherwise, we have to show NA. Understood? If the data is there, whatever the name, uname, city name, state, if the data is there, we will show that data. But if it is undefined, empty, null, or NA, or whatever it is, so we have to show NA so that this empty block should not be there. Okay. So to handle that, now here we have to write the logic. If condition. Here you will get the value. So this value, you will add it over here. Instead of unknown, I have to add any data type. And here also string return type. So if value is not equal to null and value not equal to undefined. And what else we need to do? What I again need to check?
Empty.
Huh?
Empty.
Empty, right? So if value is not null, not undefined, or not empty, means it has a value. So what we will do? We will simply return the value. Okay. Now in else, if the value is either null, undefined, or empty, it will go to the else block. So while returning it, what you will do? You will return a single string NA. So this is your logic in your pipe. You are comparing the data. Guys, be on mute. Background noise is coming. See, you are comparing the value, whatever you get. Either it is null, undefined, or not empty. So you are returning as it is the value, whatever you got. But if either it is null or undefined, it will go to the else block, and in else block, we are returning NA. Now this pipe, we need to use it over here. Okay. To use it, we need to import it in your component. If you are going to use the pipe, you need to import it. So NA pipe. See, it is suggesting from pipe folder. Okay. We imported our NA pipe. Now you can use it. On all the property, you will use NA. Okay, we created a parameter now. Let's remove it for now. We are creating a normal function, normal pipe without any parameter. Okay, let's add it. See now, wherever we had NA means empty, null or undefined, there we are able to see NA. Now user will understand like this data is not there. Understood? Let's debug this also. See it properly. Your array, how your array is. See in your array, in the first record, state is empty, mobile is undefined, and DOB is null. Just uname and the city has the value. Okay. Now see how it execute. Let's reload. See your pipe got executed. You got value Chetan11. First parameter you get. Okay. We have a value. It is not null, it is not undefined, it is not empty also. So it will go to the if block and it will return the existing value. Okay. See, it got printed. See over here. The next value, city. City is there. It will print. Now, third value, state. It's empty. So it is empty. So it will go to the else block. And in else block, we are returning an A. Again, mobile number, it is undefined. So it will go to the else block. It will return an A. Date. Like that, it will happen. See, one by one, it is executing. It's like before rendering, your function get call, pipe function, it is checking that logic, and whatever you get from that function, that get printed over here. Understood? Understood
Yes,
or
sir.
no?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, let's say if the mobile number is not there, instead of showing NA, I want to show like no mobile number found. Currently, our pipe is what it is doing. Either value is there, it is showing the value. Otherwise, it is printing NA only. But just for mobile, I need to handle, instead of NA, I need to show no contact number present. This text I need to print. So shall I create one more pipe?
We
Because,
can nested parameter, we can
right? So we should not, within this single pipe only, we should be able to manage everything. Na? So this is static, so we can make it dynamic. So now we are adding a parameter. Default str colon data type string. And we will make this function, we will make this parameter optional. How do we make this parameter optional?
By putting exclamation.
A question.
Right?
Putting a question.
Right.
So this is optional. See, if I am removing it, this pipe is expecting a parameter. See? But if I add a question mark, that is optional. Okay. Now here, I will add the value. Okay, something like this. Now, will it work or do I need to change something? By passing the value, it will work,
No.
right?
It
Because here
will
again,
be,
it is static only, na? So here,
yeah.
you need to write if condition. If this value is, if the parameter is optional, na? So if you don't pass it, by default, it will be
Null, empty,
undefined. See, null is a
string,
value.
right?
No, even if it's string, question mark, na? Here I'm not passing value.
Value
Am I
will not
passing over
get.
here? Only
No.
here I'm passing. So in other cases, it will be undefined. So if this is equal to undefined, what you need to do, you will use the
And
default one. But if it is not undefined, what you will do? What you will return over here? Whatever the character you want to display,
contact
na?
not provided.
Default string. See now. For contact number, we got some different message, and for remaining, we got NaNA. Understood?
Yes.
Clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Everyone clear? This is very real time pipe scenario. Okay. Now,
Chetan,
Hmm.
other than that, what else we can do custom pipes?
yeah, we will see that again. So
Okay,
many things are there. Okay. This is
okay,
very basic one. Now
okay.
in pipe, you might have, those who are working, you might have heard pure and impure, right? So what do we have? Some properties there pure. Pure,
Yes.
by default, I'm making it true. Okay. I'm making it true. By default, it is true only. Let's make it false. And in transform function, I'm printing console dot log. And here I'm saying pipe executed. Okay. Now just see this. How many time your pipe will execute. Okay. How many times pipe got executed?
Oh,
Let's
20.
reload again.
For every change instruction.
40, 60.
Arey yaar. Now we can't see the, let's reload. See how many time it has executed. How many time? A 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 into, how many called 4. 20 time. Correct na? 20 times we have used the pipe na. It's iterating na. See.
Right,
1, 2,
right.
3, 4, 5. And we have 4 record. So 20 time it will execute. So that many time your pipe function got executed. This is clear?
Yes.
Okay. Now in my component, I'm creating a, in pipe component, I'm creating a variable. Already we have variable. Now I will create a button over here. Change name. See, this is very important. Okay. This is again important question we have in pipe. Change name. Let's create this function.
Pure and impure type is related to pure function and impure function also. No?
Mhm.
Like it's related to like pure and impure function also. Like it's,
No, no, no. That
no
JavaScript pure
relation.
function, it has to,
Okay.
it has nothing to do it. Yeah,
What
similar you can say, you can relate to that, but that is
like
different. This is
it
different.
out like outside variable of function like
Yeah, but that is only limited to JavaScript. This is not like
okay.
that. Okay.
Okay.
First name, I'm changing it to Rahul. Okay. I have created this variable. By default, it has a value Chetan. And on click of button, I'm changing the variable value. Okay. Now see. Pipe got executed 20 times. Here. Now, if I Where is the button?
Name
Let's
के ऊपर
reload again. So pipe got executed 20 times. If I click on it, see, I'm clearing it. If I click on this variable, I'm changing another variable value. Still my pipe got executed. On this button click, what I'm doing, I'm changing this variable value. First name. Why my pipe got executed again then? My array didn't change, right?
It is reloading, right? Table will reload.
But what?
For every change,
No.
it's like
See. Okay, so chain detection happened. But for my chain detection, my pipe got executed again. But it should not execute again, right? If my array did not change, even if it is executed again, same output I'm going to get. Correct? On click of this button, I didn't change the array. I changed some another variable. But still my pipe got executed again.
Okay.
I got the same output because array didn't change. The same output is there. Clear? Our pipe should not
Right.
our pipe should not execute in this case. Correct
yeah,
or no?
it will
Yes.
re-render on the DOM again and again. Like
Right? Doesn't matter your variable got changed, means your array, wherever you are using that array, that value got changed or not, your pipe is going to execute again and again because we have made this pipe impure. And let's try with the true now. Okay. See now, I have make the pipe pure now. By default on the page load, we got pipe got executed 20 times. I'm clearing it now. See, I'm clicking it, but now my pipe is not getting executed. Understood?
Yes.
So if your pipe is impure, for every chain detection happening in your component, your pipe will again execute. It doesn't matter its value or parameter change or not. When this pipe should execute again, if this value got changed, then only my pipe should execute again. Correct?
Right.
Or its parameter also. Let's say this parameter instead of hard code, it might be coming from a variable. If its value or parameter change, then only my pipe should execute again.
Yes, sir.
So that is the
Yes.
pure pipe. By default, it is like that. But if you make your pipe impure, for every chain detection, doesn't matter the value or the value or the parameter got changed, it will execute. That's a
Then what
performance
is
issue
the
then.
impure pipe then? Like in what
Yeah,
scenario?
there are some scenarios where for anything happening in your page, you need to execute your pipe. There are scenarios. When you work on a project, you might able to get the scenario. If they have provided it, obviously there will be scenario. Otherwise, they would have
Right,
not
right,
provided it, right?
right. So that's like that's what I am asking. Like, when do we use impure
We
pipes?
need to think for a scenario like that.
Okay.
that
Have you
per-
ever got a
permanent
chance
also
to?
No,
impact.
I also not got
No.
the chance yet.
Okay, got it.
Okay. But it can be like, let's say, you have so many field over here and consider like, uh, that project we are doing, you have a, what do we say? Document type and
Registration.
document number, right? If you select
Okay.
document type Aadhaar card, your text should change. And if your document type is PAN card, your
And
text should change.
yeah, right.
Means if your value is getting changed because of something, or let's say that value, document number, string value is getting changed because of multiple things. If any 7 to 8 fields are there, and if any of the field value change, you need to execute again your pipe. So in that case, you can do like that impure pipe. I'm not able
Okay.
to understand if you imagine or not.
Yeah, got it.
Okay.
Or else like we can also like if any values are dynamic in the table which are coming from like changed values in that case also, right? For example, like
So
we are
I
changing
think sometimes
name here, right? If any of the table data is related to that name, using that name, then there
No,
also
but
like
still, let's say API call data is there. Na API call data, if we get, it's not going to change dynamically, right?
No, no. Yeah, yeah. If the got it. Okay.
We need that particular server, then only we will be able to do that. Okay.
Right, right.
Understood? Pure pipe will execute if the value or the parameter will change. But impure pipe will change for every chain detection happening in your component. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Clear, everyone?
So when we using on pipe, we should give pure true, right? For
By
all
default,
the.
it is no. By default, it is pure only.
Okay, fine. Yeah.
By default, it is there.
Okay.
Okay. Pure and impure pipe. Clear, everyone?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now let's see one more example. Now I'm going with the constant other project. Okay. This might be little bit hard for everyone to process. First one was easy. This will be little bit hard. Okay. Now in constant, let's say required min length or min length.
Sir,
Hmm. Tell me.
you said we did not need to, we cannot use object in constant in that video. I see
Hmm.
right now using the key value pair.
We cannot store object in constant because when we access it, it access like that, na?
Yeah,
Const
will dot required validation dot a mobile min length.
Right, right. That's why. Okay.
Right now you are using.
Sorry. Understood
Like
now?
right now, like you are using inside now. So like,
Yeah, it is object. But when you access it, again, you have to read the required and the directly value. You cannot get this over here. Okay. Let's say, what is that other email?
So all the constants should follow this naming
Yeah,
pattern.
it should be in the capital. And
Okay.
if it's a two word separated by underscore, this is what we normally follow while working.
Okay.
Okay. Now, in our constant, we have a validation message, and whatever the validation message we are going to need across our application, that we are going to put it over here. Okay. Right. Now, let's say we have this login page. Now in login page, let's say after this, we need to show a span, and here we have to show if we don't have this constant. So what you normally do, this is required. Here you write it like this, correct? Let's say in the dashboard also, if we have some text. Currently, we don't have many forms, so I'm just going with this. Okay. Let's say in dashboard also, you have a form, and there also you need to show the validation. This is required. Here also, this is required. Consider like in all your project, in almost every component, you will have the validation. Okay. And everywhere you have this something static like this. Okay. And let's say after some days, you have completed your first version, then your client says like instead of this is required, I need to change that message to this is mandatory or simply mandatory, right? So if in every component you have this as a static, so in every component you have to go, and in everywhere you have to change the message manually, correct?
Right.
That is just unnecessary work. And with this, again, you need to test all the component. If you have written the test case also considering this span, again, that will also change. So that is so much of work we have to do, correct? But let's say this message, instead of hard code, it is coming from your constant. So now in a single place, you need to change it, correct? Okay. Now, how do you read the constant data into HTML? In HTML, you cannot directly read the constant data. So what you can do in your login component, you will create a variable. Okay. Constant data colon any, and here what you will store? Your constant.
Constant.
It's not coming. What's the constant name? Instead of
Constant.
constant, let's make it global constant. Or let's copy this and let's create one other constant with just for the validation. Okay. I'm creating another constant over here. Now, this constant I'm assigning to a variable. Let's add the import. Okay. Then whatever the data you have in this constant, everything you got it over here. Now this you can use it over here in the interpolation. Like this. Dot your validation message dot required. Clear? Like this you will do. Same thing in the dashboard also you will do. Again, similar like this. Just like this. In the dashboard HTML also you do. Now your message is coming from your constant. Now if someone say like I need to change the text to required, what you will do only over here, you will change it. So on every component, you will be able to see the latest change value. Understood? Clear? But here is a problem. What's the problem? Unnecessary, we have to create this variable, right?
Yeah.
In every component, you will have extra variable just to read the constant. Correct? Understood? This is unnecessary. We in every component we will have this variable.
Right.
Okay. Now instead of this, we can create a pipe to read data directly from your constant file, and that pipe directly you can call it in the HTML. Getting it? You have to create a pipe which will, what do we say? Which will directly execute the data from your pipe. You have to pass the key, and that key value it should print over here. Okay. Now let's create a pipe for it. Now pipe will go into core folder or no? Or share folder it will go?
You can
Core only, na? Because it
shared folder.
no. See, it can go. Yeah. Sorry. It should go to the shared folder because yesterday, last time I said, right? Core folder will go things which are not connected with UI, but pipe is connected with UI. So it should go to the shared folder. We can put it into core folder also, but correct way will be we have to put pipe into our shared folder. Okay. So now in app folder, I'm creating our shared folder. Pipe. And what else we can have in shared folder? Reusable component.
Whatever we use throughout the application, like.
Okay. Again, what we can have in shared? Custom directives. Directives also we can create custom. Okay. Now in pipe, I need to create my pipe. New terminal. Ng generate pipe. What the name we will give? Read const. Okay. Pipe name I'm giving as read const. Now, whatever you have done it over here, what you have done, you have got all the constant data and you have put it into a variable. Okay. Similar to something like we have to do it over here. So here you will have, what do we say? How you will execute that pipe name. That value you will get it over here. Yeah, fine. So you don't need a second parameter over here. Here, any and here string. Okay. Now here you first need to get the your constant. Okay. Validation. And instead of having that another object now, we can directly have this other property. We don't need that now because we said already we created extra constant. Why do we need again validation inside that? Okay. Now validation const is equal to your constant. You need to import it over here in your pipe. Okay. Let's add the import. Now you got the validation constant over here. Now here it will be key name. Now from this validation constant, what type of data you will get it over here? Object. How do you read the data from your object if the key is dynamic? How do you read the data from your object if the key is dynamic? You don't know the key. Key you are going to get it from somewhere else. How do you read the data from your object?
Array of that key.
Right? Square bracket. So constant key value is equal to your object means validation constant. Square bracket. And what do I pass it over here? Key name, na?
The
Why it is
string
giving
name,
error?
the string format.
Hmm. So we have to provide a data type to this as any. See the first error, okay? What the error is? What is the error? See, validation constant. We don't know what type of data we are going to have it over here, right? If you are hovering on it, because we assign the value, it is knowing like it is an object. But at the time, this is any. The data type of this is any. So if it is any, how it will know like we are able to extract the data like the object? So we have to provide a data type to this constant as any. So now you are able to use that square bracket. Okay. Now whatever the value you get that you are returning over here. Let's add a debugger. And now in your both of the component, you don't need this variable. In login also, you don't need this variable. And in the HTML, here you have to pass the key, single quote from your constant. Where is the constant? Key name is required. So this is your key name. Key name. And then here you need to use your pipe. What is the pipe? Okay, let's import it. Read const pipe. Okay. Now I can use my read const pipe over here. Okay. We are passing our key name as a value to this pipe. Let's do it over here also. First we need to import. And here instead of read now, I will use mobile number rendition. Okay. We have added a debugger also. Now let's see. Property constant does not exist on type. We didn't save it properly. Okay. Let's enable the debugger. Reload. See. Okay, user service. Let's continue. Now I am in the login component. In login component, we are using the pipe and what the value we are passing required. See, in the key name, we got required. Okay. Now in the first constant, we have got the whole object. So this is like here you got the object dot required. You got the value. But If you write like this is normal way. Another way is validation constant, and this key name you can wrap it up into a value also. That will also give you the same way, na? Whenever you are reading a object, either you use the dot operator directly or you can put that key name over here. We use this way when your key is dynamic. In our case, key we are getting from over here as a parameter, and this you are passing it over here. See, we got the value and that we are returning, and that is printed over here. If I go to the dashboard, somewhere it break. Why it is saying? Okay. If you remember, like in login, we have implemented that in layout component, we are using service variable, na? And we didn't do the login directly. We navigated. So service variable is by default undefined. So we are getting the message cannot read email from undefined. Means over here logged user is undefined. So in layout component, how do we handle this? Working guys? It is breaking over here. How do we handle this? This is undefined. So we can add question mark over here. Null check.
Default parameter.
Okay. It won't check the remaining thing. Why it is not displayed? Dashboard HTML. Let's reload. Construct service got executed. Why pipe is not getting executed? Dashboard component. Pipe we have imported and we are using the pipe over here. Why it's not executing? Where it is breaking now? Okay, again dashboard also it is breaking. See, in dashboard component here it is breaking, so it is not executing the remaining line properly. Here also same thing. Question mark we need to add. Now my pipe will execute. Constructor service. See, now I am in pipe. What the key name I got? Mobile length. From dashboard component we are passing the another key, na? So that we are extracting. We got the value and that we are passing it over. Understood? So this is your pipe to read the constant data. Understood? Not required that you will understand this in a first go.
No.
Yeah.
चेतन, ये ट्रांसफॉर्म कब कॉल होता है एग्जैक्टली?
ये बाय डिफॉल्ट कॉल होता है जैसे ये पाइप तुम्हारा कहीं पे मिलता है, यहाँ पे मिल गया. It's like calling a function. How do you call a function? When you invoke it, right? Just like that. Understood? Whenever it got this, it will execute this transform function, just like a constructor. Whenever this pipe will execute, it will by default execute. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah. So those who are learning Angular for the first time, this might be hard to process, but give it some day, you will be able to understand this. And this is very real time. Both the pipe we have seen, it's very real time. First one was little bit easy. This is little bit having logic. Again, so many different scenarios are there for pipe. Okay.
So just please you pass over your notes.
Hmm.
Please you pass over your on this. Just recall it.
Sorry, you're not clear. Repeat once again.
Can you please recall it fastly?
Remaining, are you able to understand?
No, he is telling you to summarize.
Okay,
again.
summarize. See, what's the definition of pipe first of all? What do we use pipe for?
Transform the output, like
No.
transform the data.
No.
Formatting the data.
Format the data
That's a
before showing it into the HTML, right? That's the very pure definition of pipe. pipe is used to format the data before rendering into the template. Okay. Now,
Sir, your
we
voice is breaking.
wait. Now coming proper? Is it
Anyone
proper?
is audible?
Guys, am
Yes,
I
you're
Yeah,
audible.
it's clear.
For me, it's clear.
okay? So the real definition of pipe is pipe we use to format the data. Okay. It won't change the existing variable value. It will just before displaying it into the HTML, it will format the data and then it will print it. Okay. So first scenario we have seen that NA pipe. So if the value is null, undefined or empty, we had to show something. Otherwise it was showing empty TD, right? So if value is null or undefined or empty, we were showing something, right? So first we created NA, by default it was printing NA. But in some places instead of NA, we have to show some case hyphen, not available, mobile number not present, something text we have to show. So we have created a pipe with a parameter. So wherever we need to pass that, we provided that value as a second parameter. Okay. Now second pipe example we have seen if to read the data from the constant directly. Previously I have shown like just a minute. Second example we have seen to read the data directly from the constant file and use it in the HTML. If we don't create the pipe in your component, you will create a variable, you will assign the data of the constant to that variable, then you will use interpolation into the HTML. But that is like unnecessary. You have to create so many variable in every component, right? Instead of that, we have created a pipe which will read the data from the constant and it will send it back. Okay. And when we execute it, we pass the key name as a value and it will. So whatever this pipe will return, that will get printed over here. And in our logic, what do we have written? Key name we will get. And from our constant, we are extracting the value of that key and we are returning it. That's it. Okay. This, as I said, this might be a little bit hard though as learning for the first time, but first pipe you should understand. After some days, you will be able to relate this also, but not just immediate.
So
Okay.
these are all custom pipes, no?
Yeah, custom pipe. We have
Custom
created
pipes.
our own custom pipe with our own logic.
Oh.
Chetan,
Hmm.
here key name is coming from the wherever we
HTML.
are using the pipe
Right.
HTML.
Right.
It's like a parameter, right?
Yeah. No, this is a value, no? When you use a pipe, whatever you pass over here, this is your value, no?
Value.
After
Okay.
pipe, if you add something, this is your parameter.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Correct? Like
Yeah.
that.
Got it. Yeah.
No, again, like Nivedita, if you use the impure pipe, then what do we say? It will execute, na? Every time. We don't normally go for impure pipe. Okay? We should not use impure pipe unless we have a specific scenario to handle. Clear all?
Yes, Chetan.
Those who are joined from last 1 or 2 days. Everyone clear? Hmm?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
क्वेश्चन था मेरा.
Your voice is coming very low. Abhishek.
हेलो.
हाँ.
मेरा क्वेश्चन था.
Hmm.
जैसे मैं चेंज डिटेक्शन प्रिपरेशन इंटरव्यू प्रिपरेशन कर रहा हूँ, तो चेंज डिटेक्शन जब हम पढ़ते हैं
Hmm.
तो उसमें ये बताता है कि भाई परफॉर्मेंस इम्पैक्ट होता है. ठीक है. चेंज डिटेक्शन अगर वो कंपोनेंट ट्री पे काम करता है, जैसे रूट से फिर पेरेंट पे आता है, पेरेंट से चिल्ड्रन पे आता है,
Hmm.
तो कहीं कहीं फिर यूं भी लिखा है कि भाई परफॉर्मेंस इम्पैक्ट नहीं होता क्योंकि वो सेटल डाउन हो जाता है. मतलब कि भाई सेटल डाउन हो जाता है कि जैसे भाई
नहीं नहीं.
एक बार चल.
देखो देखो. जब भी तुम
हाँ.
पढ़ाई कर रहे हो ना, तो इतना डीप मत जाओ, कंपोनेंट ट्री तक मत जाओ.
ओके.
ऐसे वर्ड मत यूज करो तुम्हारे आंसर में कि उसको और क्वेश्चन पूछा जाए. चेन डिटेक्शन अगर बताते हो तो सिंपली बताना है कि इफ एनी वेरिएबल वैल्यू गेट चेंज, एंगुलर चेन डिटेक्शन विल कम इनटू
या
एक्शन.
मैं तो इतना बताता हूँ सर, डोम विल बी री-रेंडर ओनली. Dom will be re-rendered again. Like our dom will be
Yeah, DOM will
re-rendered.
be re-render again, right?
Yeah.
And we can disable the chain detection by changing the strategy.
On
Okay.
post, yeah.
And again, if you want to manually trigger by using
Change detect changes method.
detect changes, that's it. You have to explain. You don't need to go to component tree and anything. Again, they will
No,
ask the question.
मैं मेरे लिए पूछ रहा था कि भाई
नहीं,
वही अपन
even 7 or 8 years experience also you have, not still you have to limit your answer.
okay.
For your understanding, you can understand that component tree and everything, but you don't have to say that in your interview. Sometimes what happen,
Okay.
interviewer doesn't know that, so he will consider you are
Yeah,
saying something else.
yeah, they are picking the words also, like
Obviously they will
they are
pick now.
picking
If you are
yeah.
using something fancy word now, they will ask you that, like, what is this?
Yeah, they will go the deep and deep, like
So
very
that's why
deep.
you don't have to elaborate so much. Whatever he has asked, just answer that. That's it. If
That
you
is the
use
my
some fancy
problem.
word
Like
now, if you use
yeah,
some
that is the
fancy word
my
again, he
problem.
will go
Because
on to that.
I use the fancy words and they
No, no, no.
me
We should not.
and they are
Your answer
giving
should be
going
very
in down.
crystal clear. Very limited sentence word should be there. No need to use some fancy word. Okay.
सर एक क्वेश्चन है
Hmm.
सर जैसे अपन बैंक अकाउंट में लॉगिन करते हैं तो जैसे मेरे एक्सिस बैंक के अंदर 2 अकाउंट है
Hmm.
तो वहीं पे मतलब वो पर्सनल जो अकाउंट है उसमें ही लॉगिन कर सकते हैं
Hmm.
और वापस जो है करंट अकाउंट में लॉगिन करते हैं तो उसका डेटा आ जाता है तो
Hmm.
ये कैसे होता है सर जैसे जीमेल में भी ऐसा होता है जीमेल जो जीमेल आईडी पे क्लिक करते हैं उसी का डेटा आता है तो ये इसमें
ऑब्वियसली ना,
कैसे
अरे लॉगिन करते हो तो तुम्हारा एक यूजर आईडी मिल रहा है ना,
हाँ
राइट? जब लॉगिन करते हो तो लॉगिन के रिस्पॉन्स में पूरा यूजर का डिटेल आता है जो लॉगिन हुआ है। तो उसके
हम्म
बाद सारे एपीआई में उसी यूजर का डेटा आता है,
अच्छा
राइट? अगर तुम बैंक पोर्टल पे लॉगिन करते हो, तुमने
हम्म
लॉगिन किया है, तुमको तुम्हारा ही डेटा दिखना चाहिए ना, दूसरे कस्टमर का नहीं दिखना चाहिए,
हाँ नहीं दिखना चाहिए
राइट?
लेकिन
तो
मेरा
लॉग
दूसरा बैंक अकाउंट है वो भी उसमें क्लिक कर देंगे उसका डाटा भी आ जाता है
अब वो कैसा हुआ है, ओपन बैंकिंग एक कंसेप्ट है।
अच्छा
मतलब तुमने एक बैंकिंग में कौन सा बैंक यूज कर रहे हो तुम, दूसरे बैंक का कौन
एक्सिस
सा डेटा,
बैंक है एक्सिस बैंक
एक्सेस में दूसरे बैंक का डेटा दिखता है?
नहीं एक्सिस बैंक में ही सेविंग अकाउंट है मेरा
तो वो
उसका डेटा
सेम ही है ना, तुम्हारा ही अकाउंट है,
हाँ
राइट? अब
हाँ
इंडिया में वो ओपन बैंकिंग अभी तक आया नहीं है, यूएस में चल रहा है। लेट से तुम्हारे पास एक बैंक का अकाउंट है, तुमने एक बैंक के अकाउंट में लॉगिन किया, बट तुम
हम्म
उसके लॉगिन में बाकी दूसरे भी अकाउंट है ना, उसका भी मिनिमम डिटेल देख सकते हो। दैट इज व्हाट वी कॉल ओपन बैंकिंग। लेट
ओपन
से
बैंक
तुमने एसबीआई के पोर्टल पे लॉगिन किया, बट तुम्हारा एचडीएफसी में भी अकाउंट है ना, तो एचडीएफसी का भी डिटेल वहां पे छोटा सा दिखेगा, मतलब मिनिमम बैलेंस और समथिंग।
हम्म
ओके,
We will
दैट इज
share their data
ओपन बैंकिंग।
to some other bank also, like
हाँ,
ऐसा भी एक सिनेरियो बनाओ ना सर इसमें लॉगिन जो है एक यूजर के
हाँ, तो
जो
ये
है
प्रोजेक्ट में अपन करने वाले हैं ना। ये
अच्छा
प्रोजेक्ट में अपन एचआर को कुछ रोल है और एम्प्लॉय को कुछ और रोल है और एचआर को कुछ और रोल है, तो वो करने वाले हैं इसमें। ओके,
ठीक है
ठीक
अभी अभी आपने यूजर we will not use the user based logging till now in this project, like.
है। नो, दिस इज जस्ट वी हैव स्टार्टेड ना, वी हैव जस्ट कंप्लीटेड लॉगिन पेज implementation. Once we move ahead employee creation na, then we will use role based. Okay,
Okay, okay.
fine. Anyone having any doubt? Okay.
Sir, 4 year in Angular experience. So
Hmm.
how much project we need to done? We need to
See,
say
it's
to
not
the
like that how much project. Unless you get the confidence, that is the key thing. If you are getting the confidence with 2 projects, that is also fine. If you are getting the confidence in 1 project also, that is also fine. But try to complete at least 3 projects with your own from
Mhm.
scratch to end.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
Then you will get confidence
Okay.
because you have written the code, na? So if
Yes.
someone is asking you, you will be confident. Like pipe,
Yes.
right? You have 2 pipe now. So you can, whenever someone asks you, like explain pipe, obviously their next question will be, have you created any custom pipe? So if you
Yes.
understand these 2 pipe clearly, you can explain 2 different scenarios pipe. This
Yes.
is
Right.
very advanced level. No one will explain this pipe. So if you are explaining this now, you are setting yourself apart from other candidate.
Mhm.
Even interviewer might not
So,
be knowing this kind of pipe. Okay.
yeah, but
Got it.
sir, in interview, they will in simple JavaScript coding question,
Hmm.
they will ask to convert that coding code in pipe, like they will ask to every time they will say to me, like like whenever we need to in a string, we are he said like you need
हिंदी
to
में बोलो, हिंदी में बोलो अभिषेक।
क्या अपर केस कर दो उसको, जैसे मतलब फर्स्ट स्ट्रिंग को फर्स्ट कैरेक्टर है स्ट्रिंग में,
हाँ, तो
तो
स्ट्रिंग में जावास्क्रिप्ट में मेथड है ना, टू अपर टू लोअर।
हाँ मतलब जो भी है वो क्या करते हैं ना कि उसको मतलब उसको पाइप में बनाओ आप, तो जो भी है मतलब जो भी कंडीशन है वो आप उसको पाइप में बना के दो, मतलब तो एकदम से समझ में नहीं करा नहीं ना, मतलब तो कि भाई कैसे कर रहे हैं, मतलब कि भाई कैसे
नहीं देखो,
पैरामीटर
अभी
पास कर।
अगर किसी ने बोला है कि पाइप अपर करो, तो अपर के लिए तो बाय डिफॉल्ट पाइप है, राइट।
हाँ लेकिन वो तो मुझे स्लाइस से भी आता है, ऐसी बात नहीं, मतलब स्लाइस वगैरह से भी कर सकता है।
वो वही मैंने बोला ना कि जब तक आप 2-3 प्रोजेक्ट नहीं करते हो, तब तक वो क्लिक होना या फिर तभी के तभी सूझना चालू नहीं होता। 2-3
हाँ
प्रोजेक्ट तुम स्टार्ट से एंड करो, हर एक प्रोजेक्ट में कुछ ना कुछ नया करके देखो, तब जाके वो कहीं ना कहीं कन्वर्ट होता है किसी अच्छे चीज में।
हाँ
ओके,
बोल रहे
ठीक है। एनीवन हैविंग एनी क्वेश्चन और वी कैन क्लोज?
Chetan, one last question.
या।
अभी full stack developers, okay,
हम्म।
we are .NET side people,
हम्म।
and
हम्म।
Angular is new to us.
राइट।
तो the level of depth of interview for
नो,
full
फॉर
stack
सी,
developers वो
इफ यू आर अ
कैसा
फुल
होता है
स्टैक
वो?
डेवलपर ना, so
हाँ।
they won't go that much deep in Angular. They will only focus on the .NET, because the interviewer who is going to take the interview, he is from the .NET. Can Angular guy take a
हम्म।
.NET interview?
No.
So he will be .NET. He will be from the .NET background. In .NET only there are so many things to ask. So he will
Yeah,
keep
yeah.
only little bit time for the Angular.
Mm.
He cannot go because half and half, max 1 hour interview can be there, right? In
Correct.
.NET we have OOPS concept, then normal web application concept, web
Yeah,
API,
yeah.
database, microservices,
Correct.
again JavaScript, then Angular. So he cannot divide, he cannot give that much time to Angular. Okay.
तो मतलब इसमें से कितने कंसेप्ट्स हम लोगों को एज अ फुल
बेसिक
स्टैक
हम जो
डेवलपर
पढ़ने वाले अभी तक जो भी
ये
किया
है ना?
ना,
हाँ हाँ।
ये भी
ओके।
सफिशिएंट है।
हाँ हाँ। ओके।
बट हो सकता है कोई को भी तुमको इंटरसेप्टर भी पूछ ले,
हम्म।
कस्टम डायरेक्टिव कैसे क्रिएट करते वो भी पूछ ले। बेसिक नहीं पूछेगा, डायरेक्टली एडवांस ही पूछ लेगा, एक दो ही क्वेश्चन
मोस्टली
पूछेगा।
तो
हम्म।
मोस्टली मैंने जितने इंटरव्यू दिए एंगुलर के, तो मोस्टली वो कस्टम डायरेक्टिव बनवाते हैं, मतलब कस्टम डायरेक्टिव तो वो फेवरेट क्वेश्चन है,
हम्म।
कस्टम
नहीं,
पर
एंगुलर
डायरेक्टिव
के लिए
इंटरसेप्टर भी
पाइप।
अलग है।
पूछता ही है सर।
एंगुलर में सिर्फ बहुत कुछ पूछेंगे, अगर आप फुल स्टैक हो तो एंगुलर को ज्यादा नहीं पूछते।
हाँ लेकिन मैं तो सर वो उसके लिए मतलब फेवरेट क्वेश्चन है कस्टम पाइप और कस्टम
कस्टम
डायरेक्टिव
पाइप,
तो।
कस्टम डायरेक्टिव ये बहुत नॉर्मल है,
हाँ मतलब वो
पूछते ही है।
फेवरेट है, मतलब वो जाते ही
हम्म।
जाते हैं इसके ऊपर कि बना के दे दो कुछ भी
बना के
नो,
दिखाओ।
कुछ
ओके।
भी नॉर्मल सा।
और सर इंटरसेप्टर भी पूछते ही हर एक इंटरव्यू में।
किस पे?
इंटरसेप्टर
इंटरसेप्टर तो कॉमन
इंटरसेप्टर
है, बहुत
हाँ
कॉमन हो
पूछते
चुका
ही
है।
है।
नहीं
और
पूछते तो सब है,
जेडब्ल्यू
मैं
टोकन।
मैं तो सिर्फ ये बता रहा हूँ कि प्रैक्टिकल में मोस्टली क्या करवा लेते हैं, मतलब कि
इंटरसेप्टर, कस्टम डायरेक्टिव पाइप, इंटरसेप्टर लगे तो इंप्लीमेंट करने के लिए नहीं बोलेंगे, बट दे विल आस्क यू टू एटलीस्ट एक्सप्लेन व्हाट इज इंटरसेप्टर, व्हाट डू
नहीं
वी गेट
मुझसे
इन
अभी पिछले
इंटरसेप्टर।
इंटरव्यू में इंटरसेप्ट बनवाया है, मतलब मैं बना के दिया
बना
है।
भी सकते, बोल सकते हैं।
हाँ बना के मतलब बनवाया है,
हम्म।
वही वही टोकन के लिए, मतलब कि
हम्म।
वही हेडर हेडर सेट करने के लिए।
ओके। सो कुछ कुछ थिंग्स है ना, याद कर लो, अगर आप यूज टू नहीं हो लिखने से। अब जब मैं करता हूँ, मैं इंटरव्यू देता तो मैं क्या करता हूँ, नोटपैड में मेरे पूरे जो भी मोस्ट, वो मैंने दिखाया था ना, प्रोग्राम कहाँ पे रखे अपन ने। एक मिनट। ये जो प्रोग्राम नहीं बोले थे मैंने, शॉर्ट प्रोग्राम, रिमूव डुप्लीकेट, गेट काउंट ऑफ डुप्लीकेट एलिमेंट, फिबोनाची सीरीज, ये सारे प्रोग्राम के मैं क्या करता हूँ, नोटपैड पे लिखता हूँ, एकदम कम फॉन्ट पे, और इसका प्रिंट आउट निकालता हूँ, छोटा एकदम फॉन्ट पे, और वो लैपटॉप पे नीचे तुम्हारा जो कीपैड के ऊपर की जगह रहती है ना, वहां पे चिपका के रखता हूँ। क्योंकि होता है, अभी देखो ये ऐसे प्रोग्राम है ना, तुम रोज रोज करोगे तो ही ये तुमको टाइम पे याद आते हैं, नहीं तो कभी कभी भूल जाते हो। इवन फिबोनाची सीरीज हुआ है किसी के साथ, ये लॉजिक नहीं आता याद, अगर तुमने
हाँ
रिसेंटली
सर,
किया नहीं है तो।
या
मेरे साथ
या
हुआ है
मेरे
नहीं
सर,
साथ
आता
हुआ
याद,
है सर।
रिमूव
मेरा
डुप्लीकेट
भी हुआ
भूल
है।
जाते हैं सर, तो
डुप्लीकेट हो
मतलब
गया,
कि
भूल जाते हैं अपन।
हाँ
हाँ
क्योंकि ये रोज का काम नहीं है ना, अपन रोज एंगुलर पे काम करते हैं। सो इसका प्रिंट आउट निकाल के रखो, कम साइज में और छोटी छोटी चिट्ठी बना के यहाँ पे, क्योंकि देखो आजू बाजू रखोगे ना। अभी मेरा जेपी मॉर्गन में था, मैं सोच रहा था ऐसे ऊपर देखे, उसको लगा कि मैं उधर कहीं पे देख रहा हूँ, मैंने फट से लैपटॉप लिया और पलटा के दिखा दिया कि सी आई एम नॉट रीडिंग फ्रॉम समथिंग, आई वॉज जस्ट लुकिंग अवे। समझ रहे हैं? सो
हम्म।
कीबोर्ड के ऊपर की जो जगह है उसको वो नहीं पता चलेगा ना कि आप देख रहे हो, क्योंकि अब ऐसे भी एआई के एप्लीकेशन आए, वो देखते हैं कि आपका प्यूपिल्स कहाँ पे है, आपकी आंख किधर जा रही है। ओके। करण है क्या? डू वी हैव करण? करण नहीं है, करण कनाडा में है। ओके। वो टेक्निकल बैकग्राउंड से भी नहीं है, लेकिन उसका पहला जॉब उसने, उसके भाई ने इंट्रो देके क्लियर कर दिया। भाई उस वो एक छोटा अपने पास अभी वो हेडफोन नहीं है, एक नहीं कि एकदम छोटा सा हेडफोन रहता है वो जो दिखता भी नहीं है, वो कान में डाल के रखा था उसने। वहीं से आवाज जा रही थी, भाई बोल रहा था, और ये थोड़ा सा पॉज लेके जो भाई बोल रहा था वो ये बोल रहा था। गेटिंग इट? सो बहुत सारे ऐसे वेज है अभी कि जो फेक इंटरव्यू करने के लिए, फेक फेक कैंडिडेट के लिए है। तब उनको निकालने के लिए अभी तुम थोड़ा सा भी, तुम्हारा जो वेबकैम रहता है उससे थोड़ा सा भी नजर हटाओगे ना, उसको थोड़ा सा शक हो जाता है कि ये कहीं से तो भी बोल रहा है या कोई बता रहा है फिर ये बोल रहा है। तो इसलिए हम अपना ध्यान सिर्फ अपने लैपटॉप के पास ही होना है, एक तो कीबोर्ड या फिर कैमरा। क्योंकि बहुत सारी जगह ना लोग बोलते भी नहीं है कि नो यू आर कॉपी पेस्टिंग और यू आर डूइंग चीटिंग, दे विल डायरेक्टली रिजेक्ट यू ऑल्सो। और अगर ये भी हो रहा है कि लेट्स से एक कॉग्निजेंट के साथ हुआ था, एक दोस्त ने दिया था, अब वो देख भी नहीं रहा था, लेकिन आदत होती है ना, अगर अपन सोचते तो इधर उधर देखते। वो इंटरव्यूअर को लगा कि ये उसने कहीं पे कुछ लिख के रखा है, वो पढ़ रहा है और बता रहा है। उसने इंटरव्यू लिया, बताया भी नहीं, और रिजेक्ट करके रख दिया। नेक्स्ट ईयर जब फिर से वो इंटरव्यू दे रहा था ना, तो कॉग्निजेंट से कॉल ही नहीं आ रहे थे अप्लाई करने के बाद। तो फिर एक दोस्त से पता किया, तो फिर वो पता चला कि ऐसा भी कर रहे लोग कि रिजेक्ट करके रख देते, अगर कोई चीटिंग करते वक्त मिला तो उसको रिजेक्टेड लिस्ट में डाल के रख देते कैंडिडेट को।
This is very bad, right?
इट्स नॉट
For
बैड।
genuine candidates
वही
also
मैंने बोला
will
ना कि
suffer.
अगर
Yeah.
अगर किसी इंटरव्यू को थोड़ा सा भी डाउट होता है कि वो पूछता है, फट से अपना लैपटॉप लो और घुमा के दिखा दो 360 डायरेक्शन में। ओके। बट होता है ना, क्योंकि अभी फेक कैंडिडेट भी बढ़ रहे हैं, वी कैन नॉट डू, राइट। अब सिंपली देखो नौकरी में हो क्या रहा है अभी, एक वैकेंसी के लिए कितने लोग अप्लाई करके रखते हैं। मैं खुद परेशान हो गया हूँ, मेरे को एक कॉल नहीं आ रहे। लेट्स से अभी ये एक्सपीरियंस लेवल कितना है, 7 to 12 ईयर्स। 2 दिन पहले ऐड डाली है इसने, ठीक है, अब ये ओपन करता हूँ। कितने लोगों ने अप्लाई किया है, 152। ठीक है। अब ये तो बहुत कम हो गया, और देखते थोड़ा सा पुराना 4 days ago वाला देखते, 6 to 11 ईयर्स, 283। ओके। अब अगर एक वीक अगर पुराना है ना, 2,000 3,000 लोग अप्लाई कर चुके हैं। ये देखते 6 days आगे वाला। अब ये डॉट नेट है, देखो 539। मैंने ऐसे भी, अब 8 साल वाले सही, 8 साल के जॉब के लिए यहाँ पे मैंने 3-3 हजार भी काउंट देखे। अब सही में 3,000 लोग हैं क्या 8 साल के लिए? सही में बताओ, 8 साल के एक्सपीरियंस लिए डॉट नेट डेवलपर सही में 3,000 लोग होंगे इंडिया में?
नहीं नहीं।
ऑब्वियसली नहीं है। ओके। तो होता क्या है, लोग देखते नहीं है ये 8 साल के ऊपर के लिए है। 2 साल वाला भी बंदा यहाँ पे अप्लाई करता है। आई नो,
नहीं
आपने भी वही किया होगा।
नहीं नहीं, उस पे तो लिख रखा है साफ साफ कि 8 to 30।
तुमने नहीं किया होगा, नॉर्मली लोग करते हैं। लेट से 2 साल वाला नहीं, लेकिन अगर किसी को 5 साल भी एक्सपीरियंस है, वो भी
करते
करेगा
हैं
अप्लाई।
लोग बस अप्लाई पे क्लिक
हाँ
करते हैं
वही बोल रहा हूँ
मोस्टली।
ना, तो लोग बस डिस्क्रिप्शन भी नहीं देखते क्या चाहिए क्या
नहीं
नहीं।
देखते,
तो
नहीं
उसके
देखते।
वजह से होता क्या है ना, बहुत सारे कैंडिडेट ऐसे वहां पे चले जाते हैं, फिर कंपनी का टाइम वेस्ट होता है। तो इसलिए ये बाकी सारी चीजें अभी आ रही है, वो एटीएस फ्री रिज्यूम और ये सब। अब मेरा रिज्यूम भी नहीं है उतना अच्छा, तो मेरे को कॉल ही नहीं आ रहे। अब मुझे भी वो देवेंद्र के साथ बैठ के मेरे का प्रॉपर करना पड़ेगा। गेटिंग इट? सो मार्केट इज changing very drastic. What we can do is like keep your logical very strong, your basic concept very strong. That we can do. Okay.
Sir, are you working in any company?
हाँ, मैं क्या फ्री हूँ? ऑब्वियसली कंपनी में काम करोगे ना। वर्चुसा में हूँ ना मैं।
ओके, वो तो समझ।
वर्चुसा से सिटी बैंक के लिए काम करता हूँ मैं।
हाँ सर, मैंने 2 बार वहाँ पे इंटरव्यू दिया, बट सिलेक्शन ही नहीं हुआ।
सर को बता देते हैं।
नहीं, वैसा कैसा है, हर एक प्रोजेक्ट के ऊपर डिपेंड रहता।
सुपर
अब
हाँ।
वर्चुसा से एक राउंड वर्चुसा वाले लेते, वर्चुसा बोलो, अब सब मेरे प्रोजेक्ट में सिर्फ वर्चुसा से सिटी बैंक में नहीं, इन्फोसिस से भी है, टीसीएस से भी है, आयरिस से भी है, सिनेक्रॉन से भी है। तो होता क्या है,
हाँ।
पहला इंटरव्यू वर्चुसा वाले लेते, अगर
हम्म।
तुम बहुत एक्स्ट्रा ऑर्डिनरी हो तभी वो क्लियर करते, क्योंकि नेक्स्ट राउंड क्लाइंट लेते हैं,
सिटी बैंक वाले, यस।
सिटी बैंक लेते। तो अब वर्चुसा वाले ने क्लियर करके भी मतलब नहीं है,
नहीं है, हाँ।
समझे?
राइट राइट।
तो इसलिए
सर
वो
मेरा
क्लियर
वैसा
नहीं
ही हुआ
होता।
था। वो फर्स्ट राउंड हुआ, बट सेकंड सिटी बैंक का ही था, तो वो नहीं
वही,
हुआ।
क्योंकि सिटी
इसलिए वो
बैंक जैसे मेरे प्रोजेक्ट में नहीं किया, सिर्फ रिएक्टिव फॉर्म हमारा फोकस में रहता। रिएक्टिव फॉर्म और आरएक्सजेस इतना पूछते हैं, रिएक्टिव फॉर्म और आरएक्सजेस की हद नहीं उसकी।
राइट राइट।
और अब इसके पहले मेरा प्रोजेक्ट था, वहां पे रिएक्टिव फॉर्म नहीं था, तो वो नॉर्मल नॉर्मल क्वेश्चन पूछ के क्लाइंट क्लियर कर देते थे। अगेन प्रोजेक्ट टू प्रोजेक्ट वेरी होता है। ओके।
यस सर, मेरा वो रिएक्टिव फॉर्म की वजह से ही वो रिजेक्ट
हम्म,
हुआ वहाँ पे।
बहुत यूज होता है रिएक्टिव फॉर्म, यू कांट
हम्म।
इमेजिन कितना यूज होता है हमारे यहाँ पे रिएक्टिव फॉर्म। ओके, चलो, लेट्स कनेक्ट टुमारो।
सर
हेलो।
बोलो।
कितने साल एक्सपीरियंस है सर एंगुलर में?
मुझे
यस।
9 साल हो गए।
तो मैं
एंगुलर
मैं
एंगुलर
रेफरल में।
जेएस आया, उसके बाद एंगुलर 2, तब से मैं एंगुलर पे हूँ।
और डॉट नेट भी सर?
डॉट नेट पे लिमिटेड है मेरा, पहले स्टार्टिंग के 2-3 साल ही मैंने काम किया, उसके बाद कंपनी में अभी सिर्फ एंगुलर और रिएक्ट पे ही दिखाता हूँ मैं। डॉट नेट दिखाओ ना तो फिर एंगुलर रिएक्ट छोड़ देते, सिर्फ डॉट नेट ही पूछते। तो उतना
ओके।
नहीं बता सकता डॉट नेट पे। काम कर सकता हूँ, काम करना अलग चीज़ है, लेकिन इंटरव्यू के लिए बहुत कुछ है डॉट नेट में। कौन है, सही
ठीक
है
है, मैं
देना।
मैं इन्फोसिस में
या या
रेफरल।
ठीक है।
राइट। अगर
हाँ
तुम डॉट
आपके
नेट दिखाते हो ना, इतना डॉट नेट में घुस जाते हैं, नहीं बता सकते उतने। जो काम कर रहा है वो नहीं बता सकता, जो काम नहीं कर रहा है वो कैसे बताएगा?
ओनली वर फोकस एंगुलर एंड
हाँ।
ओके सर, 8 साल एक्सपीरियंस का मेरे कंपनी में है ओपनिंग।
सिर्फ एंगुलर के लिए?
हाँ एंगुलर। हाँ एंगुलर डेवलपर।
ठीक है ना, मैं करता सेंड, देखो, एचआर को भेज के। अभी मेरा कितना है, 40 दिन बाकी है नोटिस पीरियड का।
ओके।
ओके।
स्टार्टिंग में आप रिएक्टिव फॉर्म पढ़ा रहे थे आज, मतलब कि वही, ओके से।
हम्म, क्या बोल रहे हो? अरे
स्टार्टिंग
हेडफोन
में
यूज किया
रिएक्टिव,
करो, तुम्हारा आवाज ही नहीं समझता क्लियर।
सॉरी, रिएक्टिव फॉर्म यूज कर रहे थे स्टार्टिंग में, आज मतलब पढ़ा दिया क्या रिएक्टिव फॉर्म?
बेसिक पढ़ाया मैंने, अब एडवांस अभी तक नहीं हुआ है। सिर्फ क्रिएट कैसे करते हो, यूज कैसे करते हो, उतना ही हुआ है। सेट वैल्यू,
हाँ
पैच
तो वो
वैल्यू,
फॉर्म
बाकी
फॉर्म
सब
बिल्डर
बाकी
से
है।
ही होता
बाकी
है
सब
वो।
बाकी है, वो पढ़ाऊंगा मैं।
चेक
ओके।
बहुत तो मतलब कौन सा प्रीफर करते हैं हम? फॉर्म बिल्डर यूज करते थे पहले।
दोनों सेम ही है, फॉर्म बिल्डर फॉर्म ग्रुप दोनों सेम ही है, नो डिफरेंस। ओके।
तो सिनारियो होगा मतलब,
हाँ,
ठीक है, कुछ तो सिनारियो होगा, मतलब कि कुछ तो
नहीं है, नहीं है, दोनों
कुछ भी
सेम
नहीं।
है। इट जस्ट देर आर टू वेज टू क्रिएट रिएक्टिव फॉर्म। ओके।
सिंथेटिक सुगर ही है मतलब एक तरह से।
हाँ। ओके,
ठीक है।
चलो, लेट्स कनेक्ट टुमारो।